You're crying or you're feeling some sort of emotion every page. If you're not, it stinks. If it's not, we'll work on it. It stinks. Now, what do you pay writers? I'll get to the subject guilds and unions coming up, but right now, just writers. If you go, writers like, especially if they're not in the Writers Guild or they're beginning writers, even if they're typing, they like to say, I'll work for Writers Guild minimum. Ha! Go get the writers. We'll get to that. Writers Guild minimum is about $35,000. Oh boy, thanks a lot. If you go and hire a first-time writer, they can be a publicist, novelist, publisher, writer, prose, poetry, whatever. But if they haven't had a script produced and on the screen, and they're not in the Writers Guild, you have no problem negotiating with them because you're about to give them their first opportunity. You're paying people with opportunities, not with big bucks. And that is more than enough that they'll be happy and ecstatic for to accept. They'll try and go for all this other glamorous stuff that we've heard about that everybody gets once they're a name. Right now, they're not names. So if you're starting off with the beginning writer who's written 3 or 5 scripts but hasn't sold one that's been made, here's what you pay. If you buy Writers Guild minimum, you're going to pay about $35,000. Don't do it. Roger Corman doesn't do it. He's shooting 40 or 50 films this year. Here's what he pays, and let's go up here, number 2. Writer. On step number 2 up here, I'd say pay anywhere from most $2,000 to $5,000. $2,000 to $5,000. That is it. No higher. No higher. Here's what you're doing, and here's how you do the $2,000 to $5,000. Here's what your job is, to try and get educated as producers to know that what you're reading and what you're hiring and what you're buying is going to be great. You're naive right now. You're about to fall in love with typing. What I got to get you to be is an educated producer reader. So the first thing you do, if you're a real producer, have you read, who in here has read 30 or 50 scripts this week? This week. This week and every week. That's what they do. Taking 3 home a night. And they get focused, and they get focused, and they see it. So your first jobs, by the way, guys, is get reading. Go and read a lot of scripts. Not 1, not 2. So what you do, it's lucky to be in LA. We've got some lovely script resources places here. You've got what's called the Academy Library. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has a library in Beverly Hills on La Cienega Boulevard. Go in there. They have just about every script of every feature film ever made. So you read those scripts. You can't take them out. The American Film Institute has a wonderful library, and UCLA has a wonderful library. I think UCLA, am I correct or wrong, lets you take some out.
They don't sell any of those at all?
No, wait, stop. I'll get to that. There are stores that sell some scripts. But I don't want you buying them because you're just going to buy 2. I want you to read 50. 50, not 2. 50, then you can get focused. Then you'll see, and read scripts of only movies you've seen. Then your eyes can relate to what's on the page is on the screen. So go to the Academy, go to AFI, go to UCLA, spend 2 weeks just reading a bunch of scripts of movies you've seen, okay? That doesn't cost any money. Next, take one of those 2-day story structure classes that are out there. The screenwriting instructors, Michael Haig, John Truby, Sid Field, Bob McKee, Linda Seeger. There are about 6 or 7 out there. They teach the cookie cutter mode of screenwriting. This is what happens on page 1, page 3, page 5, page 7, page 9, page 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 87, 88, 89, and 90, where the plot points are. In my opinion, they're all about 90 to 95% absolutely right. This is the structure, the skeleton of a script, the A story, the B stories, etc. So take those classes to get focused on that. Those classes cost $200 to $400. Take 1 or 2 of them. So read a bunch of scripts. Now take 1 or 2 of those story structure classes. You know what? You've gone through boot camp now. Now go out and contract with whoever's going to be your writer. And give them the concept, give them the idea. Or you know what I do? There are a couple of classes that are these 6-week, 8-week classes, night school, which they call boot camp for writing, which everybody writes their own script. If you're not in a rush, which you're all in a rush anyway, take one of those classes and get in there, and everybody's got to write your own script. And you'll find out that you are a hack. So what? You're writing your script, you're learning it. And you'll find out somewhere in that class, by the 3rd week, everybody starts reading what they've been writing. And you'll find out that great writers are like great athletes. In my opinion, they're just born with this God-given trait. Everybody can learn how to type and structure. And everybody can call themselves the writer. But are they great? It's do they have this God-given gift of an ear to write dialogue. Structure, yes. Ideas, yes. Concepts, yes. Dialogue, that's where we separate. So in the writing class, you'll probably find out you don't have it. Maybe, hopefully, you have it. But in the writing class, you'll see if 20 people, they start reading their script by the third week, and you know good dialogue when you hear it. You'll know it. You know what happens in that class when you hear one person in the class with great dialogue? You walk up to the person and go, "Hi, my name's Dov Simmons. I'm a producer. I've got numerous projects in various stages of development right now. You know what? I'd like to, you're a really good writer. Did you know that? Oh, really? Yeah. I'd like to hire you to write a script. Wow, really? Yeah, and I'll pay you. It's not on spec, and I'll pay you. I'll give you $300 a week. I'll give you the 2 books to tell you how to type properly. I'll tell you my idea concept. I want you to take 12 people to a house and chop them up. 90 pages. Let the appliances be the killer." All right? By the way, I did that movie. It's Microwave Massacre. It's all been done. But that's it. And then you tell the person, give them the structure. 5 weeks, I'm paying you $300 a week. And in 5 weeks, I want the first draft. You'll get it. That's $1,500. You'll get it. No guarantee it's wonderful and perfect. Same thing as if you hired a writer that's in the Writers Guild, and you're paying upwards of the $25,000 to $35,000. Is this a guarantee it's going to be perfect? No. You don't like what you get? Then, oh, we'll rewrite it. That's another $12,000. So there's no guarantee. So your most cost-effective way of focusing in and doing the script is going to discovering undiscovered talent. Got it? It doesn't come to you. Stop thinking you're going to put an ad in some paper and it's going to flow. You'll get the crappy scripts more than likely. You get 20 scripts and you don't really know. Don't be lazy. So first, read a lot of scripts. Next, understand what story structure is. I've got a lot of books up here that have structure in it. Next, go to that 6-week writing class and hear dialogue, and you've discovered, hopefully, undiscovered talent. Walk up to that person, tell them the storyline concept, hire them for $300 a week. It's not negotiable. That person's in that class paying, by the way. You're the first person to pay him. Is it negotiable? That person naively will probably say, well, I've been told that I should do it for Writers Guild minimum. Good. You get somebody else give you Writers Guild minimum, go get it. You just lost your opportunity, Charlie. I'm the first person in the universe that's offering you any money to make a film, and I'm going to make it, and you're trying to negotiate with me? Get real. And that's it. 5 weeks, first draft, $1,500. Walk away. If you get some readers, get some coverage. And another 2 weeks, do a rewrite, another $500,000. And hopefully, it's not a guarantee, it's great. Now you got it. $2,000 to $5,000. You'll get your script. You'll get it. It's your job to be on top of it, though. Don't just fall in love with typing that comes to you. If you haven't done your homework, you'll fall in love with it. So you got to do it. Roger Corman doesn't pay more than $5,000. That's the most, and don't think any of you are going to call him up. I have literary authors who have published novels, prose, that want to cross over into the screenwriting industry. So first, write your novel. Get it published by Bantam, Ballantine, Dell, St. Martin's, Harper and Row. Then Corman might think about hiring you. Okay? So you're starting off with, remember, you're the producers, filmmakers. You don't have to give out big bucks, $2,000 to $5,000, getting your script. You've got some focus on that. And when you get your script, keep it simple. If you know that you're only going to have anywhere from $50,000 to $300,000, you just can't shoot anything that comes to you. So if you're getting realistic, keep the writer focused on that concept, a drama storyline set within a simple location, and you can execute it. Get the great script, get some money. The mechanics is the least thing. Getting the great script, that's the big thing. Let's say there's a great script out there that you see. It's already done. Well, you don't buy it unless it's so cheap. They'll sell it to you for $1,000, $2,000. Buy it. Usually they say, we'll sell it to you or optioning it. You'll option it. It's like optioning real estate. You pay anything from 3% to 10% down. So when you option a property, if you love it already, not the idea concept, if the idea concept is good, hire another writer and just do it for $1,000 or $3,000 yourself. But if the script is great, you want to tie it up. If you can outright purchase it and afford it, get it. If not, you option it. Here's the optioning. A basic thing in the contract. When you option, here's what you negotiate. First is what's the buy price. Maybe the person says, I'll do it for Writer's Guild minimum. Then it's $25,000, $35,000. But that's not the price. You then go, what's the down payment? 2%, 3%, 10%. So if it's $35,000 with 10% down, you option it for $3,500 against a final pickup price of $35,000, which you owe the other $31,500. Now the next thing you negotiate is how long the option period. I'd recommend a minimum of 12 months, hopefully 18 months, not 2 months, not 3 months, not 30 days, because if you option it for that short a period of time, by the time you get it to us executives who can get you the money to make the film, we're going to sniff that the option is going to run out. And if we really love the script, you're not my son. You're not my daughter. This is business, and I don't feel guilty about it. I'll do an end run around you and go directly to the writer. So that's why optioning for short periods of time, you usually lose on that one. So minimum 12 months to about 18 months, and then renewal periods. You would like 1 or 2 one-year renewal periods, of which you'll then negotiate an additional $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 to renew it. So you want to tie it up for maybe 2.5, 3.5 years. If you really love the script, not the concept. If it's just the concept idea you like, guys, start from scratch with somebody else. If you truly love the script, buy it, option it. If the buying price is so low. Now let's say this naive writer, which everybody who's not in the industry is naive, because all they know is marketing that we've been putting out, which is lies, and they go, I just heard this script, they sell them for $200,000. And if you're obsessed and you love this script, and you just said $35,000, and he said no, and he said $200,000, and you're obsessed with buying it, then buy it for $200,000, but you can't pay $200,000, and maybe you can't even pay 10% down, $20,000. So say, if this guy won't sell it to you for $35,000, and it takes the number $200,000, so all right, I'll give you $200,000, $1,000 down, a 1-year option period. I'll give you the next $50,000 upon commencement of principal photography and financing. And I'll give you the final $149,000 upon either answer print or sales or distribution. You then spread it out. Maybe the guy says $200,000 and you want it for a year. I heard this script went for $1 million, a first-time writer, which everybody's heard those stories, and it does happen once a year. So you say, all right, I'll give you $1 million. $10 down. You get the point. Whatever it takes to tie it up if you're obsessed with it. But it better be perfect. Not it needs a rewrite. It better be perfect. If it needs a rewrite, just start from scratch and get it one for $3,000 yourself. That's the script. You starting your careers, focus on your script. 90 to 120 pages. Keep it simple, which means stay closer to 90 pages. One location. One location. A building. The family reunion. The sorority reunion. Whatever. You'll come up with, every theatrical stage play writer writes under those restraints. It is not an amazing thing to do. To get a good story, though, with great dialogue within those restraints is amazing. If you happen to find that script, which is your job to go find it, or ferret it out, or purchase it, and you find it, you'll be rich and famous in my heart. Because you'll execute it with whatever money you have, it'll get out there. That's getting your script. This is not a class on screenwriting, though. Next subject, let's debunk, let's get into. Entirely next subject, guilds and unions. So you truly understand what they are, what the thoughts about them are, what to be concerned with them, and what to not worry about them are. Guilds and unions. And once again, hello filmmakers, and before we get into the subject of guilds and unions in the Hollywood industry, let's do a quick recap of what you just found out about screenwriting, screenplays from an independent filmmaker and producer's point of view. You understand, starting off, the most important thing in the film industry is get the great script. Get the great script, not an idea, treatment, or concept. Now, as a beginning filmmaker, you also understand if you have very little money, which you probably will, on your first feature film, get a simple-to-shoot script. You understand what that is now. It's basically a stage play or a 90-page script that takes place in one location. One location, keep it simple. You don't have to move and move and move. All scripts are 90 to 120 pages in length is the usual time on that. And it's obvious, go to 90 to 100 pages. Keep it simple. Shoot less pages, still a story. Get your script, the great script. You have some understanding of how to work with and what the Writers Guild is and what Writers Guild minimum and low-budget minimums are. You've got an understanding now of what you, as a filmmaker, producer, have to do if you have very little money to discover that great talent who hasn't written the great script yet but has the ability, and they're not in the Writers Guild. How to find them and hire them for about $300 a week, and in 5 weeks you'll have your first draft for $1,500. And you don't have to pay Writers Guild minimum $25,000 to $40,000. Also, if you happen to discover the great script that's already been written, you now understand something about don't buy it outright, don't pay all the money right up front. You can option it for a 5-10% down payment. But now you have just a little understanding of the screenplay, of writers, of the Writers Guild, and working with them. And a realistic approach that you, the beginning filmmaker, if you're going to go to shoot your first feature film, and truly you've never done it before and don't know what you're doing, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Of the 90 to 120 page properly typed script is stay closer to 90 to 100 pages, and keep it in one location. That is basically, you're going to shoot your first feature film is going to be a stage play almost. But now you're focused on, you can handle that. You can handle that. Now get your idea, get your concept that takes place in one location. Discover your undiscovered writer who has massive talent, who has that ability to write dialogue, that has a good ear for dialogue. Contract him or her for $300 a week, and in 5 weeks you'll have your first draft, and you're on your way to producing your first feature film. First step, get the great script. Once again, now let's get into the next tape, which will be discussing Hollywood system and the guilds and the unions. Guilds being the Writers Guild, which we've now touched on, the Directors Guild, the Screen Actors Guild, and the union, which is nicknamed IA, or IATSE, which stands for International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. Guilds and unions, the next tape. Once again, happy filmmaking.